Hi guys, let's learn some editing. I'll show you a method that is so fast of teaching you how to edit that it feels like cheating, and in this case it feels like stealing. Here's an example of an edit that I just stole. So in this video I'm gonna show you my framework that I kind of developed while doing this tutorial on how to learn from other people's edits. Basically with this framework, if you follow the same steps, you can just look at the video and then analyze it and then learn to do the same kind of edit yourself. This video is a sequel to a video that I created a couple of weeks ago called 7 Principles for Accelerated Learning. You can find the video somewhere here. And in that video I explained my 7 principles for accelerated learning, and in this video I'm gonna use those principles and create a 5-step framework for learning fast. So making those principles more practical. And those 5 steps are: first, define what you want to learn and exclude what you don't want to learn. And in this case I want to learn editing and this very trendy style of editing that has a nice flow and is really fast and very fluid. And I don't want to learn sound effects, color correcting, filming and all those things that are really part of this style as well, but I just want to learn editing. The second step is to choose a reference. And I went around in YouTube and found this YouTube channel called JR Alli, and I chose one of his videos, this called London. And inside this video I chose this 20-second kind of duration, and I wanted this to be my reference. So I'm limiting the size of my reference, because the third step is to analyze your reference, and the shorter your reference is, the easier it is to do. So then I analyzed this reference, and then we get to the 4th step, which is to recreate the reference. And I'm gonna do it in this video, on this tutorial. And then the 5th step is to compare the reference and your work and try to kind of understand what is the missing part between your work and the reference. So next time you can get to the same level or even further than the reference. Okay, so 5 steps: define what you want to learn, exclude what you don't want to learn. Second, choose a reference. Third, analyze your reference. 4th, recreate your reference. And 5th, compare your work to the reference. Okay, let's start with the process, and I'm gonna, because you already know my number 1 and number 2, I'm gonna skip those and go to number 3, and let's start on the computer. Let's jump into the analyzing. So first let's look at this clip, and I'm gonna mute the sound, and now just concentrate as much as you can by looking what is happening. Exactly try to see what is happening in this clip. And I'm gonna play it, and then we'll dive in even further. But let's first just look at very concentrating on what is going on. Starting now. That was it. Quite fast, right? Okay, so it's almost impossible to grasp the whole thing with one look. So that's why let me show you my analysis of the clip, or of this 20 seconds that we just saw. So to do this kind of analyzing, let's dive in deeper on that, but I will just explain you how I did it, like what were the steps. The first step is to calculate how many individual clips there are. For example, in this case, let's calculate them. So this is the first one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So there were 14 individual clips in this reference. So then I wrote down numbers from 1 to 14. And then I went again through the clip, and I just wrote down what does like what's inside each of those individual clips. Because that was very easy. That was a really good idea, because then I was able to, it helped me kind of stay on track. What am I actually analyzing? For example, this first clip is a clock tower, then there's a person with a camera here, person walking, person with a camera, a bus, a bridge, a person filming other person, a person in the middle of a zoom, and so on. So I kind of wrote down what's in all of those individual clips. Then I wrote down what is the type of the clip. For example, here, if I go through this whole thing again, well, not the whole thing, but let me just, you get the idea. First clip is an orientating shot. So it's already like establishing, maybe it's called establishing shot. It's establishing that we are in London. It's the sun is setting, it's getting dark, and it's giving us the mood of the shot. Then we have a medium shot, a cowboy shot, and then a close-up, and then we have a wide shot, another wide shot, a wide shot, a wide shot, a wide shot, and so on. So kind of like writing down the types of clips that we have. And I just came up with these types. The point of this analyzing is not to try to follow certain strict framework on how to analyze stuff. The point is to try to get it in your head, like actually really understand what's going on. So you can just do this in whatever order and however you did it. This is just how I did it. Then after that, I went the whole clip one more time, and I chose like I wanted to see which direction is the kind of frame moving. For example, the first one was going to the right, second one was still, third forward, left, 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 and right, right, left, and you get the idea. I was trying to figure out if there was like some kind of a pattern for the movement. Maybe the frames were all going left and then they started going right, or in your case the other way around, but anyway. But in this case I didn't find any pattern to the movement. The movement was just like a random. Then the next step was to, in this case, I analyzed the transitions between these individual clips. So I wrote them down. The first one is like clockwork transition, then a clockwork, speed ramping, element transition. There was a bus in both shots, so it's kind of match cutting. So there's a bus, and in the second one there's a bus. Then there was this wipe, like this pole, zoop. Yeah, almost. Can I get it? Like there you can see this pole is wiping the screen, revealing this Nets clip, and so on. And I analyzed all the different transitions there were, and in this case there was basically all of those transitions were speed ramping, so meaning that the speed of the clip is fluctuating in the end or in the beginning, kind of giving the like it starts fast and it slows down and then it moves again quickly just before it cuts. So that was a very common theme in this edit, and yeah, that's about it. There was a couple other things. For example, in these reverse clips there was this glitch effect, and there was a couple for example in the end here, where was it? Here there are these couple of these flashes in the end, like there flash and there flash, so a couple of flashes. So I guess you could analyze it even further, but it's the point of the analyzing is to kind of contextual, what is the word, like materialize it, like conceptualize it in your mind, so that you can kind of almost like an engineer, you can know what are the ingredients, because when you have those, then you can do your plan on what you want to shoot. And that was exactly what I did. I wrote, after doing the analysis, I wrote this shot list, so kind of like a shopping list, and I put it on my phone. And because this is not like a film set where everything is planned, it's a run and gun situation. You kind of have to just react to everything. It's so easy to wash away whatever you thought about it. So really good to have a list of like shots on your phone, what you want to get. And I decided to get these establishing shots, close-ups, drone shots, 3 of these rewind shots, like something I can mimic this, for example, this rewind effect. So something moving and then coming back, and then match cutting. Like, well, anyway, this is my shopping list for the shoot. And then I decided to shoot everything in 120 frames per second with the GH5. So that was my analysis of this clip, and then next we're gonna go and shoot the stuff. Well, I already did it, but you will go now back in time and you'll see what I did there. And this is a street workout jam that my friends organized, and I went there to do this editing, capture the footage for this edit. Okay. Okay, we arrived to Hervanta, and now we're gonna go and find those street workout guys. So this is our spot, so let me show you what I brought. So all my stuff fits into this bag, and the things that I have with me are, well, first of all the camera with the Rode video mic, and then I have an external recorder just in case if I want to record some sound effects. I have another lens. This is 50mm, and this is the Sigma 18 to 35mm. And then I have some ND filters, which I'm not going to use because I'm always breaking the 180-degree rule. Then I have this for just calibrating colors, and I just have it always. I might not even use it. This is a gray card that I use to kind of set exposure and white balance. This is a reflector that I use if I want to kind of fill in the shadows a bit. And this is my stand if I want to relay the camera somewhere and do something myself. And then a drone. So this is the gear that I'm gonna use. So I have my shot list here on my phone, and I was now able to shoot all the establishing shots, so I'm gonna move on and go for the next one, which is close-ups. Okay, so the shoot is done. I got the drone shot as well, so we'll call it a day, and I'll meet you at the editing table next. Bye. And here we are, back in the present day. I'm gonna now show you how I did the edit. I'm not gonna do the whole edit, just giving you the basic idea how to do it and what kind of things that I what observations did I do along the way. So first I brought all the footage into the editing software, and then I lined all, and this is by the way kind of the way I edit as well. You will get an inside peek on how I edit. So I brought all the clips on one timeline, so all of the clips, and in the beginning I of course had them all just in one track, and then and by the way I use proxies, so it's much faster to scrub through the footage. As you can see here, it's really smooth even on a laptop. I went through where is it? We'll start here. So I went through everything. I kind of watched the whole footage that I got, and then whenever I saw something interesting that kind of catched my eye, I lifted up on a second track, and I went through the whole thing, choosing all clips that I looked interesting, and I put them on a second track. Then I just copied them all, like copy, and I created a new sequence, and I pasted them all here on this sequence. And then this is kind of like my like all the usable clips that I was able to capture. And here I can already see that I was able to capture 9 minutes of actually usable stuff, plus the drone footage, which I didn't actually end up using at all because it just didn't fit the edit. And then the next step was to do a rough edit. So here I have here is all the same stuff. I copied them again. So here's all the clips. And then on the left side, I did this kind of a rough edit that is already very similar to the end result, but it is just all these clips are just without no effects. A bit of color correcting there and now and there, but no speed ramping or any other kind of effects. Just a rough edit. And I decided to use the same music as they use in the video, and I did a kind of like rhythm analysis. So I put the music. I went to Spotify and just recorded the song, and then I put it here, and I marked like a marker on all of the cuts. So let's just go through this and see. So there's a cut, 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 and so on. And I made these markers, and it's very common in these videos to cut to the beat. So the music has a certain kind of a beat, So if you listen to just the song, you can see like there's a like certain kind of a beat to the song, and the cuts are made on those beats. Maybe in the future, or soon in the future, I'll make a video about how to cut to music. Well, you can actually just go to YouTube and Google, or like search how to cut to music. And then I kind of got these like cuts, these markers, and then I just brought the song to this rough edit, and I just started to kind of assemble the edit. And I was actually using this edit of mine, because now it was really easy here to, just a second, let me show you, maybe you didn't see those, because I had this bit too down. That's better. So here are these markers, sorry, maybe you didn't see them. These markers are where the cuts are. So here's a cut, there's a marker. Here's another cut, and here's a marker. And now I started to simply assemble these clips to kind of recreate the edit. So I already have this orientating shot. So this is my orientating shot. Then I had like a medium shot. I didn't follow it strictly, but I kind of took this analyzing as my inspiration. So if I was like, oh, I don't know what to do, because it's very easy to kind of, when you're learning something, it's really difficult to be learning and creative at the same time. So that's why I'm like recreating the reference. So it frees up my learning capacity, because I'm not trying to be creative at the same time when I'm learning. So I kind of just went through this and filled the edit with my clips that was pretty similar to the reference. Okay, and then next step was to do the transition edit. So here is my transition edit. For example, in this first clip, this is an establishing shot, similar to the first one in the reference. There's a bird, and I added this nice zoom effect, because they used the zoom effect in a couple of these references. I wrote it down, zoom in and zoom out. So this analysis is almost like a shopping list for inspiration as well. So I was like, what should I put there? And then I just looked at the analysis and like, hey, I could use this zooming effect. And here's the clockwork effect, or like clockwork transition, similar to the video. And here there's a zoom effect again. And let me just take the music off. And you see that there's a lot of this speed ramping, like before and after these cuts, I added the speed ramping, and it's done so that here you can see that I have this, on this icon I click or double click or right click it and choose time remapping and speed, and then I can make these like adjustments to the speed. And then here's an example of the back and forth effect. Similarly, like this honey is going forward and coming back. There's a vibe, the same vibe that I did like that was in the reference, and a lot of speed ramping, zooming out, zooming in, and there's a flash. I even added a flash, just a simple deep to wide, a very short thing. And yeah, that's kind of it, nothing fancy. And then to make the footage smoother, I now and then added, where I speed up the clip, I added this adjustment layer to create this kind of a fake motion blur. So if you can see, without the adjustment layer, it's very crisp, and if you look it's very jagged, kind of doesn't look so smooth. There's no motion blur, but with these adjustment layers, I created this kind of fake motion blur, and it's simply an effect with a directional blur and horizontal direction. And yep. And I added wherever I speed up the when I speed up the clip to kind of make this blurriness, that it looks smooth. And here, this adjustment layer, because in the reference there was this one clip. Let's find it here in the very end, like here. Where is it? Here. There's this weird kind of like. The camera is kind of like sucking in the footage or something. I used that here in the very last to create this like end, like I decided to end the video to that zoom. It's kind of like view. And I used the lens distortion effect, and I keyframed it to start in the end of the clip. And yeah, that's it. That was the edit. And it was really fun to do this edit because I had this analysis as my kind of like shopping list. Like whenever I felt like, I don't know, what should I do? Like, how can I make this look better? I just open up my analysis and like, they're like, oh, let's use the rewind effect here, and let's use speed ramping, and let's use the lens distortion, and so on. And then for the color grading, of course I wasn't, in this video I didn't want to learn to do color grading, but of course it's to give it a nice look. I did color grade the footage. So let me show you how I did it. This is the original clip. Then I color corrected it. I used a color correction kit to do this. I use it in almost all of my videos. If you want to learn more about the color correction kit, there is a nice video actually about how to get good quality slow motion with the GH5. So I'm using the same principles here. So first I color corrected the footage from Cine D to this better, and then I added this lookup table. I'm starting to create these. I'm slowly starting to create these my own creative lookup tables. This is a lookup table that kind of limits the hues in the. It's kind of making the footage look black and white almost. So like you can see, there's only this bluish green and skin tones. So it's giving it a nice look. In the future, you will see. I will try and finish this creative lookup table pack in the near future, and then you can use them as well. But color grading was outside of the topic of this video, so let's just continue. Then the fifth step of comparing our reference to our recreation. So our reference to recreation, and let's see where we got. I'm gonna try and play them at the same time, so let's see how it goes. So we can kind of look at them at the same time and compare. The first thing that I can really obviously see that we have a different aspect ratio. So we're already down because we forgot to create the CinemaScope look, but I guess that's okay. So let's put this on and let's try to aim to get the videos to start at the same time. So let's hope it's like maybe there. And now let's start looking at this. We're a bit behind on this. It's okay. They were very similar. I'm actually quite happy with the end result. But on the top of my head, I think the biggest differences between my clip and the reference is that the reference had much a bigger variety on the locations and on the topics, and like there's the city, there's a London, there's alleyways, there's night, there's these iconic buses, iconic locations. Like that is something, of course, I could not recreate on this very short shooting session, and yeah. But other than that, I would say that my edit, it flowed in a similar way. It was really nice to look, and yeah, I'm happy with this. I'm gonna go and really dive deeper into this and like to start seeing the differences. For example, this glitch effect, I didn't use it in my video. And you can do the same 5 steps. What was there? Like, define what you want to learn, choose a reference, analyze it, recreate it, and then compare it. And we have a Facebook group. This YouTube channel has a Facebook group, and on this Facebook group, I'm going to post like a post where I challenge you to do the same thing. So I know this is a bit tedious process, but if you really are committed on learning, do the same things and choose what you want to learn, and then recreate the thing and post it on our Facebook group, and let's kind of teach each other and learn from each other there. If you want to join this Facebook group and you want to accept this challenge of doing the same thing as I just did, there's a link below this video where you can go and join this Facebook group. And if you don't gonna do it, at least subscribe to my channel and see more content like this in the near future. Okay, that's over and out. See you in the next video. Bye.